This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
This is not our choice, and our kids will not be brainwashed, will not be indoctrinated.
I'm sure we will see all of the pomp and circumstance of a traditional papal funeral.
Why should Americans who didn't go to college or went to college and responsibly paid back their loans pay for the student loans of other Americans?
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. Opting out. A landmark case went before the U.S. Supreme Court today. Can parents remove their kids when LGBTQ plus curriculum is taught in schools?
This is not education. This is indoctrination.
Billy Moses, one of the plaintiffs at the center of the case in Mahmoud versus Taylor.
What we're saying is do not force our kids to learn this nonsense. We did not sign up for it. We don't have hate for them. We love them. We are kind to them. We accept their choices, but this is not our choice, and our kids will not be brainwashed, will not be indoctrinated, and parents will not sit and wait and just watch.
The state of Maryland initially allowed parents to opt out of the gay rights curriculum, but so many kids were missing class, they revoked the privilege. Parents took it to court. Michael O'Brien with the Beckett Fund for Religious Liberty tells WJLA in Washington.
The parents are not seeking to change this curriculum, remove the books. They seek only an opt-out so that they can be the ones who are in control of directing their children's education on these matters.
After arguments today, the outcome looks favorable for parents. Democratic Justice Elena Kagan had this to say.
I, too, was struck by these are young kids, picture books on matters concerning sexuality. I suspect there are a lot of non-religious parents who weren't all that thrilled about this. And then you add in religion, and that's even more serious.
Justices will rule by the end of June. Francis' funeral, the Pope, will be laid to rest on Saturday morning.
His whole desire for the funeral has been to keep it as simple as possible, which of course the cardinals will keep in mind, but they also have to balance that with the centuries-long tradition of papal funerals. So I'm sure we will see all of the pomp and circumstance of a traditional papal funeral as well.
Anyone that wants to watch will have to get up very early. It starts at 4 a.m. on the East Coast. The rules are changing for repayment of federal student loans. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
Debt cannot be wiped away. It just ends up getting transferred to others. So why should Americans who didn't go to college or went to college and responsibly paid back their loans pay for the student loans of other Americans?
She says only 4 in 10 Americans with federal student loan debt are making payments. No student loan has been referred to collections since March of 2020. That was at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic.
The Trump administration will never force taxpayers to pay student loan debts that don't belong to them. Student loan borrowers need clarity, and we're finally giving it to them. Borrowers will now be clearly expected to repay their loans, and those who default on their loan obligations will face involuntary collections.
Repayment starts next month. RFK Jr. plans to ban 8 petroleum-based synthetic food dyes, including red dye number 40, in the next 2 years in the U.S. CBS reporter Michael Wallace.
The petroleum-based food dyes are found in thousands of grocery items, including cereals and sports drinks. The FDA has long said most children have no adverse effects from the dyes, but it did ban red dye number 3 in January after studies linked it to cancer in lab animals. Kennedy wants food companies to use natural color substitutes. For example, in Canada, Fruit Loops get their colors from blueberries and carrots, not blue number 1, yellow number 5, and red number 40.
Red dye 40 is in products like Skittles, M&Ms, Fruit Loops, Kool-Aid, Jell-O, ice cream, and even ketchup. Tariff talk. So far, 18 countries have written brand new trade agreements that are being negotiated with the U.S. to level the playing field for American businesses and international trade. It includes huge discussions with India. The White House says China is next. The feud between Harvard and the Trump administration is escalating. The Ivy League school is suing the president to try to reverse a $2.2 billion federal funding freeze. It has to do with Harvard's refusal to reverse course when it comes to anti-Semitic activity.
I think we have to reevaluate how we fund higher education, because the purpose of higher education is to prepare our students for the workforce force and to advance knowledge. It is not to become indoctrination factories. It is not to teach people how to hate Israel or to hate America. And unfortunately, at all too many institutions, that's what it's become.
Harvard alum and Florida Congressman Randy Fine. And America's declining birth rate is cause for concern. Even President Trump's DOGE administrator, Elon Musk, has taken notice.
I want to emphasize this. The biggest issue in 20 years will be population collapse. Not explosion, collapse.
For the record, Musk has fathered 14 children. Author Douglas Murray weighing in on the declining birth rate.
One of the explanations for it is just an anti-human attitude which has been pumped into our societies in recent years in the West. Consider the way in which the Green Movement talks to young people about themselves. For years it said effectively, you are the problem. By having been born, you're causing the destruction of the planet, and if it wasn't for us humans, all the moths and the trees, it would all be getting on great. And it suggests that, like, human beings are the problem, where in fact we're, in my view at least, the point of being here.
Men and women are waiting longer to get married. The average age for a woman's first marriage in America today is 28, and for men, it's 30. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, Ovid, New York gets back on its feet. Pennsylvania's representing at the Kentucky Derby, and Bible quizzers from Family Life are off to the national competition today. Those stories after weather with Kevin Williams.
Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. The call for tonight, still a couple of showers and thunderstorms around as we head through the evening hours, and clouds trying to break a bit overnight. Low temps 40s and low 50s. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds, becoming mostly sunny. High temperatures cooler in New York State, 50s, 60s to near 70 in Pennsylvania. On Wednesday, plenty of sunshine with high temperatures in the 60s to around 70.
Thank you, Kevin. Checking the stories, making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. A stubborn brush fire in Pennsylvania's Bear Mountain area has been contained but continues to burn. These residents living near the fire zone tell WBRE it's been a worrisome few days.
There's a lot of smoke still, and I just came through Jim Thorpe, and I actually saw flames.
None of us in this house have anywhere to go, so it wouldn't really be the best thing, and that is probably what is the scariest thing in the situation of the fire coming down, because we don't have anywhere to go.
No injuries reported, but the fires burned more than 500 acres. There's something going on. The words of New York Governor Kathy Hochul today, talking about two recent high-profile incidents involving state prison guards fatally beating an inmate. She tells WSYR,
"We have to get to the bottom of it. I don't think it's just these two prisons. It seemed like they were very comfortable, the guards taking him into a particular room and making the staff of the infirmary leave and covering up the cameras. It felt like they had done that before."
Hochul referring to the December beating death of inmate Robert Brooks at the Marcy Correctional Facility, which was followed in March by the beating death of inmate Messiah Natwi in the Mid-State Correctional Facility. Work is underway to remove debris from the main street in Ovid 3 months after a devastating fire destroyed their downtown. That included Ronald Carmona's Italian Kitchen restaurant. He tells Wham News,
"It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to clear this up and not to see the monstrosity there that reminds us of that awful night."
Carmona doesn't plan to rebuild, and it's unclear whether any of the other businesses, including a Big M grocery store, will be rebuilt, which concerns nearby Interlaken resident Nick Hauk.
I mean, pretty much you got to go to Ithaca, Watkins Glen, Geneva. You got to drive 20, 30 minutes if you really want to go grocery shopping.
Pennsylvania culinary students are off to the races. 28 student chefs from the Penn College of Technology in Williamsport have earned a field assignment doing prep for the 151st Kentucky Derby. Chef instructor Charles Niedermeyer tells WNEP,
"The students will be doing everything from grilling asparagus to making macarons. By Derby day, a lot of students will put in 12, 14, 16-hour days. It's a great test of their endurance."
And they'll be cooking until Derby day on May 3rd. 150,000 guests attend the Derby in person. Next at 5, it is Bible quizzing time. The Teams from Family Life head to the national competition today. Our own Mark Webster sat down with Coach Becky Cable. Let's listen in.
For the rookies out there, what is Bible quizzing? I mean, folks of a certain age might be thinking sword drills on steroids or something like that. Tell us what it's all about.
Well, Bible quizzing is more of a memorization of large portions of Scripture. This year, our season was studying the entire book of the Gospel of Luke. And so each month there was an assignment. Say we did 4 chapters a month, not necessarily chronologically in order, but by the end of the season, we've covered all 24 chapters. And so we have some quizzers who have memorized the entire 1,149 verses. And then you're formed on teams, and you have a quiz master who asks questions, and you're sitting on an electronic pad. And when you stand up, your pad triggers a light on a laptop that the quiz master is reading from. And then whoever triggers the light first has that opportunity to answer the question that the quiz master just posed. So you have 20 seconds to remember that verse, no pressure at all, and 30 seconds if it's a quote where you verbatim, word for word, must quote that verse without any errors in it.
A lot of prep time to get to that level of knowledge.
Oh my gosh. It's a long season. We start in September with our first meet, and we finish up in March. But then we're working hard for nationals, which is April. It's an intensive kind of and some people call it a sport. It takes dedication. It takes a lot of self-motivation because you're kind of competing against yourself. You have a team, and not everyone on your team is going to be memorizing the same material that you are, so that as a team you can cover more chapters. You don't want all 7 of your teammates to be covering Luke chapter 12. That doesn't help you. Mm-hmm. So you need your team.
Truly a team sport.
Absolutely. It absolutely is. And it's fast-paced. It's a lot of fun. You have such encouragement from your teammates and from the other teams. This is not a competition where it's cutthroat. Your competitors are encouraging you, wanting you to do well. Yes, they're competing against you, but it's what we say a lot, iron sharpening iron. You're at it to make each other better.
That's Becky Cable, who's coaching a group of Family Life Bible quizzers who are heading to a national competition today in Wisconsin. You can track the competition on the website quizzing.live. You can also subscribe, listen to, and share this feature and all of Family Life's original podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at familylife.org. Time next for tonight's market report, brought to you by Faithward Advisors. Wall Street is closing higher in hopes of easing trade tensions with China. At the final bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 1,016 points to 39,186. The S&P 500 rose 129 points to 5287, and the Nasdaq climbed 429 points to 16,300. Faithward Advisors is a Christian financial planning firm online at faithwardadvisors.com.
Christians live by faith, but when it comes to finances, that faith can be tested. Hi, I'm Rob West with a Faith and Finance Minute. Let's call it the fear factor. You're worried that you won't be able to pay the bills, fix the car when it breaks down, or save for the future. When fear gets the better of us, we insist on taking charge. But the Bible is clear about the importance of trusting God for everything. In Matthew 6:33, Jesus tells his disciples that God will provide all they need, saying, "But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." We must do our part, following God's principles for managing money and working diligently. But we must trust God to do the rest. He will provide. We can help you learn to manage your money according to biblical principles when you download the free FaithFi app. You'll find it on our website at faithfi.com.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, a Pennsylvania mom shot a video at dinner that went viral and ended up raising enough money for her 81-year-old waitress to retire. That story after weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. The stage is set for a couple of pleasant nights and days. High pressure will be ruling the land. The result, generally fair skies. Nights will be cool, but the days will be warming, such that by Thursday we're getting up well into the 70s. Our next weather maker is a front set to start the weekend with, some showers. The call for tonight, generally clear, any evening clouds fading away, low temperatures 30s and low 40s. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. High temperatures, upper 50s and 60s. On Thursday, there's some sunshine and warmer. High temperatures Thursday away from the lakes in the 70s to low 80s.
All right, we'll take it. Finally, at 5, these are the kinds of videos you hope go viral on social media.
If I can make one video go viral, I hope it's this one, because our server at Eaton Park is probably in her 70s. I'm here with my son, and she can hardly walk. And we heard her tell the table next to us, because they asked why she was still working, that she only makes $910 a month on Social Security, and she has to still work because her bills exceed $910 a month.
Tammy Nozier, a Pittsburgh area mom, grabbed a bite at Eaton Park and was waited on by this 81-year-old woman. She shot the video undercover and then posted it on TikTok and linked it to a GoFundMe page for the elderly waitress titled "Let's Help Her Retire." The result?
The GoFundMe is at $323,084. My Venmo and Cash App is at $4,650.60. And then I made $1,544.58 off that video, bringing her total to $328,739.18.
And every single penny went to 81-year-old Betty to retire, doing some good in the world. And that's the world that we live in for Tuesday, the 22nd of April. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.